All right, so let's spin a quick. All right. Let's just sit in that for a minute. You guys can open up your eyes now. Man, that feels nice. For some reason today, I just felt a lot more at peace for some reason. I don't know. Today just felt a little different. So if you guys can turn on your camera so that everybody can see your beautiful smile, because this is a community, there's a lot of people here. So turn on your camera. If you got a camera, I'll give everybody a minute to turn on their camera so that we can see each other's handsome faces. Let's bring the human back to Zoom meetings, right? Let's bring the human back to the Zoom meeting. And don't be shy. Nobody's judging you for your pajamas, or nobody's judging you for what you eat. Nobody's judging you for your hairstyle, all right? You don't have to put makeup on. This is not that kind of place. So don't worry. Just keep doing what you're doing. Awesome, guys. Yes. Love it. A lot of you guys are driving. I appreciate you joining in. It is important that we do this every day. And yeah, just if you're at work, hit up the grind. That's all you got to do, right? I really appreciate that you guys are here, man. It's such a grateful morning. I felt like a very sense of peace for some reason today. Hopefully you guys feel the same. And I recommend doing this every single day, not just doing it once a week, right? This is how you train your mind to be calm, to be meek during hard times, right? Hard situation. Because if you're not giving yourself a moment to really sit and just feel grateful, then your whole life is just going to be a rush. And so that's why we do that, is so that you prevent yourself from having to feel this like I got to do the next thing, I got to do the next thing, I got to do the next thing. This gives you time to learn how to stop and reflect. We have to teach ourselves how to stop and reflect, because if you keep going and going and going, but you're going in the wrong direction, you're essentially still failing, right? It doesn't matter how much you do, but if you do it in the wrong direction, you're still failing. So learn to use this, this habit, this routine as a way to just not just feel gratitude, but just a way to stop yourself from your busy day and just reflect and think about things. And so it's great. I do this every day. I don't just spend 5 minutes with you guys every Monday. I do this every day. Okay. So that's amazing. So we all want success, right? Yeah. Don't we all want success? I do. Raise your hand if you want success, right? We all want success. Don't we all, right? If you put your hands down, you don't raise your hands, that's a problem. So you're in the wrong place. So we all want success here. And this past weekend, I had, hold on, there's an echo. Give me 1 second. Ooh, somebody has an echo. Give me 1 second. Hello? Okay. Yeah, that was weird. So this past weekend, I had an opportunity to help out with a 100-mile race. Well, that was fun, right? Running 100 miles. Anyone ever ran 100 miles before? Anyone here ever done a marathon? No? Run maybe 10 miles? I know a few of you guys probably ran. Yeah, there you go. Ben ran 10 miles. So if you guys ever ran 10 miles or run a mile, it's very hard. And so these guys and gals ran 100 mile this past weekend. So this Saturday and Sunday, I had an opportunity to support some of the men at my church that I highly respect. They were running a 100-mile race at the church. The reason why they were doing this is because they wanted to challenge themselves to do something hard. There was a race that they had signed up for a few weeks before that. It was called the Brazos 100. You guys can look this up. Because there was a lot of heavy rain at this national park, so it was a trail run. They canceled the event last minute, and so there was a bunch of people that were supposed to go do it. They had trained for it. They didn't get to do it. They trained for 6 months. Okay, so imagine you were training for 6 months, and then last minute they canceled it. So they decided to do it at the church anyway. So they set up the route, trace out the route, make sure it was 1 mile every lap. The main organizer was an ex-Navy SEAL, so he made sure that every lap was exactly 1 mile, so he was on point about that. So the race started at 7:30 a.m. Saturday. It was cold. Everybody looked hyped up. Everybody was ready. And it didn't end till 3 p.m. the next day. It was a grind. Like these guys, I was inspired being there. So they gave themselves about 33 hours. That was the cutoff to do it. I was there through most of it. I kind of jump in and out, throughout the night too. I help people get drinks. I help people with food, moral support. If you need moral support, like you quitting, I was there to try to get the moral support. Honestly, it was inspiring being there because there was just people of all ages, both men and women and children. Um, there were moments where people were going to quit, just because, they was just in so much pain. And then I would come and, I would try to walk with them because you don't have to run the 100 miles. You don't. Um, you can walk the whole 100 miles as long as you keep it within that 33 hours. So there was this one kid, I think his name was Eric. I mean, he looked young. Maybe he was like 19 or something like that. But he came there and his challenge was to run 50 miles. He ran 50 miles, but at the end he ended up 91 miles. I was like, dang, that's awesome, man, He had like 8 more to go, but I think he was just I don't know, he just gave up. I don't know why, but 91 is still pretty good. So I didn't do 91, so I can't complain. I was just there trying to support. So that's like you deciding to run, 91 miles, 100 miles. It's like you running from Dallas to Waco. If you're from Texas, like you really just put on a map where you are located in 100 miles from where you are to the next city, dude. Like you can run to the next city, and it takes about 2 days to get there. And I also met this woman. This one woman. She was running through this thing like insane. It took her 19 hours to finish everything. She ran this. She blasted through this thing like a robot. She didn't stop. She kept going. She ran an average of a 12-minute mile nonstop. If you guys ever ran any treadmill work, try to run 12-minute mile for like 5 miles. It's pretty hard. So she was a pro. And there was also those who were just in extreme pain. Everything was hurting. The feet was hurting. I saw one guy, he had like on his toe, there was like this red cherry on it, like extremely red. And I'm like, what happened? Like, I don't know what happened to his feet. The bottom was fine, but the top had this really red cherry. And we're like, dang, that must hurt. Back was hurting. Some of them were dozing as they were walking because they walked through the night, so they were trying to finish on time. They were dozing while they were walking. They were limping to the finish line. Along the way they kept going. So there was something greater in them and that kept them moving, right? So it was an amazing experience for me to be there to witness that. Why am I sharing this story? I'm not telling you to go out to run 100 miles. If you want to, you can. I'm not saying go do something like that. I'm crazy, so I might do something like that next year. Who knows? I love challenges. So I like to push the limit of my mind and my body. And I heard something very interesting. This guy, his name was Caleb, and this is what he told me. He was like, don't limit the challenge, but challenge the limit, right? So don't say that, hey, I'm gonna only do a 5-mile challenge, a 5K, right? But instead go out and say, I'm gonna do 100 miles. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm just gonna go try and see what happens. So challenge the limit, don't limit the challenge. So here are the few lessons that I've learned from just being around those people today. Like there were people who ran that the first time, it was their first time racing or running 100 miles. And there were people that did this on a consistent basis. There was a few things I learned. And the 100 miles race really reminded me of the time I was climbing that mountain in Snow Basin, Utah. It was so much fun, but it was so painful. I don't remember the pain anymore. Honestly, I don't remember the hardship, the struggle, the pain. All I remember was finishing. Honestly, I don't remember any of the physical pain or the mental pain, right? You only remember like winning. Like you only remember finishing and the feeling, oh, I felt pretty good finishing. And that's all you remember. So the first mindset law that I want to share with you is focus only on the end result. of what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? Only focus on what the end result is and the feeling that you want to get. You know what winning feels like to you. We all know what it feels like to make good grades, to make an A on a paper, to get paid a bonus, to complete a project, to win at something. We all know what that feeling is, but sometimes we forget because we haven't won in a while. So, focus on that end result. Focus on what that feeling, what the feeling that you get when you do it, right? When you get there. Focus on that feeling. That's what's going to get you through things. That's what's going to get you through the pain. Like going through pain is going to be inevitable. You will have to face it. So make sure you remind yourself every day why you're doing what you do, right? So that's why we have a vision board. Keep that vision close to you every single day. Make it a daily habit to remind yourself what your vision is, right? Like for me, it's always my family, my kids, leaving a legacy for my kids, showing them an example of like just trying to do things, doing hard things, doing things that are a little different from other people, right? Because there's always going to be pain in our life, no matter where we are in our life, there's always going to be pain. And that's the truth. There's always going to be pain. But we have to think about what can help us overcome that pain, right? If for you, if it's God, lean into God. If it's your family, lean into your family. Have them be the one that helps you get through the pain. If it's your friends, whatever it may be, right? There's always something that you can lean onto, your vision of where you want to be in your life. Those things will help you overcome any pain. Like make that into a daily process. Remind yourself every single day. All right, focus on the end result and how it makes you feel when you get there. Make it a daily process. And that leads me up to the second rule. Be obedient to success. So I remember last week I talked about, being a slave to success, being obedient to it. Now I'm talking about being obedient. Now, what do I mean by that? What does obedient mean anyway, right? It's going to bring back a lot of old family trauma for some of you guys here. Joking. And for me, every time I think about obedience, like my parents yelling at me, like, don't do this and don't do that. And that word obedience really means to comply or willing to comply with order or requests, right? And so we sometimes like get so mixed up with like, I don't want to be told what to do. And honestly, nobody really likes to be told what to do because we're kind of like sometimes self-centered. Right? We always like, it's me, I know what I gotta do. I don't need you to tell me what I gotta do. But for us, we have to be obedient to success because there are things that we need to do, things that are required, that we need to do right to make success happen, right? There's so many laws of success out there. And, it requires work, right? It requires effort for you to be successful. There's always work that's required. There's types of work that's required. It's not just any work. There's types of work that is required. Like a simple rule is if you want to make money, you got to want to work. And I talked about that. Okay, where in the world do you get paid to do nothing? I'm serious. Like I'm not talking about unemployment or welfare. Don't do that because you're not going to get any richer than that. You're going to be in poverty mindset for the rest of your life. But like, I don't believe in, relying on the government at all. I believe in like, putting in your own hard work to succeed. So seriously, there's, if you live in a third world country, you do nothing, you will die with nothing. You get nothing. That's the truth. All right. So there will be nothing for you if you do nothing. So just remember that. So there are many laws, orders, requests that you have to follow to succeed. You have to be obedient to it, meaning you just gotta just do it, right? When one of the rules says you gotta like working, just start believing that. Just start framing your mind that, right? If you yourself as the leader and the master follow, then you will start following your own orders, right? If you follow, just imagine this. If you are listening to what you want, your desires all the time, guess where that will lead you, right? For me, I like to eat a lot. I like cake. I like ice cream, right? Everybody here likes that. I know you guys do. Don't lie. You know, I like drinking soda sometime too. But if I did that, if I follow that rule of mine, if I was like, hey, okay, Chung, today you're the master. You can do whatever you want and you will listen to yourself. Honestly, I'll be 100 pounds heavier than I am today. I will not be in front of you guys telling you guys, how to live your life, how to improve your life, how to push through pain, because I wouldn't want to do those things. I'll be sleeping in my bed watching TV all day and just eating. That's my rule, right? That's what I want. That's my desire. But doesn't mean it's right. And so that's why we find masters and shifu in areas of life that is better than us, right? That is more disciplined, that has success laws that they follow, that we can follow with them, right? And sometimes those requests might not be what we like, but we have to do it anyway. So when you're obedient to someone, you listen. It doesn't mean that they have authority over you, or they're telling you to do something like sometimes you feel like when you're obedient to someone, you feel kind of like less than them. No, that's not true, because that's your own pride saying that you're less than them. A lot of people have pride. We all have pride in some areas. And when we say, oh, that guy hurt my feelings because he's telling me I need to run, 5 more miles every day, right? I'm trying to hit my goals, but I'm not hitting my goals right now. I need to run 5 more miles. Well, you know what? He's wrong, all right? Like, or a friend of yours or your personal trainer is like, hey man, if you want to hit your weight loss progress, you got to stop eating certain things. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to listen to him. I don't want to listen to her, right? So we have to be obedient to what the success law tells us. Just be obedient to it. Don't fight it. It's hard because we're trying to, we have resistance against it because we don't want to listen. We don't want to obey because it's telling us to do something that's hard that we don't like. But once you start accepting that, hey, I have to obey these rules that success have, right? Work hard, learn, be open-minded, be humble, seek people that are better than you. Don't run away from people who are better than you. Seek people who are better than you. It's not because you're less than anybody. It's because they know more than you do. So you seek those people and they will help you, right? That's why we have mentorships. That's why you reach up higher instead of reaching lower, okay? So here's a story that I want to share with you. Someone shared this story with me recently, and it kind of relates to this. So there's this Army sergeant in the Army screaming at new recruits during PT training. If you guys are not familiar with PT, is the physical training where they train up these young kids from 18 to 20 years old who recently joined, and to go through PT, it kind of toughened them up and kind of introduced them to the military standards. And it's like an entry into tearing down the old stuff and building up a soldier. So you have all these new recruits lining up, okay? And the sergeant is like inspecting each one, screaming at each one of them, right? Like your dad screaming at you for cleaning your room. That's what it's like. So it's like, why is your uniform uneven? He screamed. He's screaming like, why is your shirt not tucked? Why is your bunk not organized? And so on. So he's screaming at everybody. Then he came to this one recruit and he screams at him like, what were you thinking, boy? And then the young recruit screamed back, I did everything you asked, sir. How do you know I did it right? And then the sergeant replied. So the sergeant asked him, how does he know that he did it right? He's like, I don't know, sir. I only focus on what you told me to do. And then the sergeant replied, what if you did it wrong? And the recruit replies, it's not for me to decide. It's for you to tell me, sir. Right? So if so this is a good example, because it's like when you're obedient and somebody's telling you to do this, do it this way. It's like, why do it any other way, right? They have results that's already shown that they can do certain things that are successful, right? Okay. So I'm gonna be honest. This is my honest truth right here. I do not go to a gym and hire a trainer that is heavier than me, or like just fatter than me. I'm gonna be honest. That's my truth. It's a little harsh, but I'm not gonna do that, because apparently this guy is not taking care of himself. That's why I'm not gonna hire him to train me, because he ain't got it down. Why would I listen to somebody like that? Right? And it goes the same way as, why would you listen to somebody around you that haven't achieved the goals that you want? Why would you listen to someone around you that is not trying to achieve the same thing or have reached the levels that you want, the level of freedom that you want? So listen to the people that achieve the success that you're trying to achieve, and that's how you're going to get there too. All right. So that's the second rule for me: be obedient to success, and that's what I've learned from this race. And that leads me up to the third mindset law. Accept that change will be painful. Right? Does anyone here like pain? I like pain. I volunteer to like pain. Raise your hand if you like pain. Okay, nobody raised their hand. I was like, I'm not sure. You guys are lying. Nobody here likes pain. Everybody, all of you guys are liars. Nobody likes pain, okay? That's the truth. But you have to accept it. You don't have to like it. You got to accept that pain sucks. Just because we are not physically hurting doesn't mean, we are not mentally or emotionally hurt, okay? Pain comes in two areas: physical and mental pain. So physical pain is like soreness from working out, or you can have soreness from sitting on the couch all day. Like my back, it hurts when I sit on the couch too long watching TV. That happened before in the past, so I know. And I'm sure like sitting down for too long, it hurts. Mental pain, like fear of failure from starting a business, or fear of regrets of not starting, right? There's pain. So here's a quote from Jim Rohn that I really like. We must all suffer from one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regrets. The difference is discipline weighs ounces while regrets weighs ton. I don't normally read the second part, but today I want to talk a little bit about the second part because, we always talk about the pain of discipline or the pain of regrets, but the pain of discipline weighs in ounces means every day you pay a little bit. You pay your price every single day. Small little bit amount, right? 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever it may be. You pay a little bit. But if you don't pay the price, let's say you seek the good feeling, you seek the comfort, you seek to run away from pain, eventually when you're on your deathbed, you're about to die, all this regret will come and it will weigh heavy, like tons of bricks, right? Like heavy stone on you, because why? Regrets pile up. So once you start to understand, like becoming aware that in life, that there will be pain, you get to choose the pain you want to face. And that's the truth. Like once you understand that, hey, life is painful, either way, like I can't avoid it. It makes it a little bit easier for you to start choosing and then overcoming. Because the other option is worse, right? If you don't choose your pain, then the pain will come anyway. And then you're just gonna be dealing with pain that you don't want, right? So like just imagine you're wrapped up like around a bubble. Like every day you're in this bubble, this really big bubble around you, and then you don't bump into walls, you don't hit anything, you don't fall down, people can't bother you, blocks everything out. You're in this bubble. I think there's a movie called The Bubble Boy or something. You can watch that too if you want. It's interesting. But, just imagine the bubble disappear one day. But you went through your entire life with this bubble, and then one day it goes away. The first little fall that you come is going to be a lot heavier than someone who's been falling their entire life and knowing how to get back up. You can fall, but the goal of life and success is that getting back up, right? It's going to hit you really hard just because it's a small fall. Like I'll give you a good example. My youngest, she's 4 years old. She'll run, she'll run after us, like we're racing or something, and, she'll run a little bit, and then she trip on her own feet. I don't know how she does it, but she does it. She falls on her own feet, and then she bump her knee on the ground a little bit. And it doesn't look like a big bump, it's like a really soft bump. We're on carpet, so it doesn't hurt that much. But then she'll start screaming, like as if the world's about to end, man. Right? And I'm like, it's okay. I'm just like, hey, it wasn't that bad, right? You didn't break an ankle. It wasn't that bad. But then I have to be at her level and I have to tell her, it's okay. Just get back up. Let's just keep playing. And I have to do this constantly. Well, that's what happened. Is when you don't know how to fail and get back up, you failed. You essentially failed. And so it's painful getting back up. it also is painful falling. But what's important is that don't shy away from the failure and the pain. Learn from those things. Learn from them. And even better is like learning from other people's mistakes, right? That's where wisdom comes. So learn from other people's mistakes. you know. And to me, like one of the things that helped me get through pain, I mentioned this in the past, is like you gotta have a mantra, like that you say out loud. Like for me, my mantra was pain is good, and I would say this sometime when something is very painful, when I'm stressed out about something, like pain is good. Or when I'm working out, or when I'm running, doing something hard, like pain is good. I repeat this when I'm experiencing just extreme pain. It's like a brainwash, but I recommend having a brainwash mantra, like, dude, like success will come. You can say that. Success will come. You can yell that out, use your voice, because that's all you have, right? Your mind's gonna tell you otherwise. Your mind is gonna say, this hurts. I don't want to do this. I'm tired. Here's another good one. Do it now. If you guys are a procrastinator, when you need to do something, just stand there and just start yelling, do it now. When you say do it now, it gets you going. Yell that out. Do it now. And it will get you moving. I promise. A task that you got to do and you don't want to do it and you feel tired, do it now. I got to wash your dishes. Start yelling, do it now. Your family might think you're crazy, but when you say do it now, you'll start doing it. Trust me, that's something that I do. All right. So during this ultra marathon, okay, I met this guy named Caleb. He finished this race in like 20 hours. That dude's a monster, man. He runs like 50 miles a week as training, so it was easy for him. Okay. So near the last leg of the race, this is what he shared with me. Like near the last leg of the race, so like maybe like 10 laps left. He says the pain eventually is excruciating, but it eventually feels the same. So either you dig deep and push through or slow down. The pain will still be there, right? So the pain will always be there no matter where you are. You don't want to do the work, it's still painful. Like I'm not doing the work. It's still painful because you're thinking about it. And then when you do the work, like this sucks, but at least you're making progress, right? It's still painful, but you're making progress. So pain is good. Accept that pain. Any type of change, anything that you do will be painful. And when you get comfortable with pain, it makes it easier for you to do a lot of things, okay? It's painful. Life is painful, all right? But it can get easier as you get better at accepting that it's painful. And so that leads me up to the next law, which is you have to put in effort, right? I mean, everybody here is putting in effort. What is effort? Effort is, the meaning of effort is like exerting, force exerted, or vigorous or determined attempt. In other words, trying really hard, right? Trying really hard. Effort is trying really hard. So I want to share this because I want to remind you guys, you got to keep trying. Like, don't stop trying at anything. If you have an opportunity to learn from someone, try to be closer to them. If you don't have anything, or if you don't have things that are working, try something else. If you have a problem, try to solve it. Effort is trying really hard. That's what effort is. Don't just say, I don't know, and give up. So have you guys ever have a friend or heard the word I don't know from someone? Like, instead of saying like, hey, I'll find out, somebody always respond like, I don't know. You ask them a question, I don't know. Where do you want to go eat? I don't know. What are you doing today? I don't know. It's like, okay. Like instead of I don't know, say something like, I don't know, but I will find out, right? Like to me, I don't know is probably the laziest form of not trying. It really bothers me. I hope it bothers you too. If it doesn't, you should. And if you feel offended right now, you should be, because you should not say, I don't know. I want you guys to feel offended, okay? Because I don't know is just the laziest way to respond, because you're not even trying to think. You're not even trying to solve a problem. You're not trying to do anything. So there's no thinking about it. There's no researching. There's no finding a solution. There's zero effort. You are absolutely saying to yourself, I will not try. So if you're asking somebody, where they want to go out to eat today, and they say, I don't know, cut them out of your life. I mean it. Seriously, like those people are not trying. That's my point, right? Like these people are not really trying. So if you had never seen anyone run 100 miles or like a really long marathon, like a full marathon, uh, if you are in Dallas, there's a BMW marathon that's happening this December. So you can go down there and watch a bunch of people of different ages, sizes, and shape. It's amazing, and they're running. It will inspire you, I promise. Like, dude, there's real effort, and effort is required to finish, okay? So inspiration will get you started, right? Inspiration will get you going, but effort will get you to finish. Remember that. Your effort will get you finished. So just try anything. Just try, and try hard, right? And this leads me up to the last law. Have a success crew. This is important. During this race, I noticed that, many of the runners have their friends, their family, and other experienced runner, helping them through the hardest part of the race. So I was part of that crew. If you guys seen Formula One racing or NASCAR, like there's a pit crew, right? They change tire, refuel, and do a bunch of anything else that's needed to get the car and the driver to win the race. And the hardest part of any race or any journey is not the start, but actually the middle and near the end, right? When you're the middle and the end, like the middle is where the doubts and the fear comes, right? And the exhaustion, you're not super exhausted, but like you're not super tired, but it's like it's coming. It's coming. Like it's just gonna get worse, right? 60 mile in, you're like, man, I still got another 40 to go. Seriously? And that's when like, I just want to go home and sleep on my bed right now. I'm tired, right? Like 16 hours in, you're like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. So during the race, the middle and the end is probably the hardest, right? Extremely, like when you're super tired, it's in extreme pain. Like how do you do it on your own? Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like you need that moral and physical support from other people. And some of the runners, man, dude, I swear they were just limping. Like you touch their thighs, like they're screaming in pain. Like literally somebody pressed down on your thigh and you're like screaming. That's how bad it was. Like you can't touch their thighs. And like they need help getting up because when they sit down, they couldn't get back up. And so they literally had to tell you like, okay, help me up. And so you help them up. And so that's so much pain, just doing 100 miles. But it's the same for you guys in your personal life too. Like, man, you will be going through some struggles, man. Like there's days where like things will just go so well, but then there's gonna be days and seasons and time in your life where it's just like everything just won't work the way you want it to work. And it's just stressful, it's hard. That's why you need a success crew, people around you that can help you, help you up when you're down, help you with nutrition, help you with fluid, help you with spirit, help you with moral, help you with support, right? And, so in your own journey, you got to have a success crew, like just somebody. I want to remind you to not do anything alone. I always remind you guys, don't do anything alone. Don't do life alone. Like, don't do life alone. You will fail and it will suck. All right? Find your support here in the community. Find it in your family. Find it in your friends. Because at the end of the day, you will be tired. You will feel beaten. You will feel worn out. And it will be painful. But with the right people around you, you will overcome and push through it. So I'll leave you with this, okay? Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. And working together is success. And this is from Henry Ford. He said that. I didn't say it. He said it. So, and I truly believe that too. When you have the success crew around you, you will succeed. They will lift you up. They will pick you up when you're down. And that's how you make your life a lot easier. Don't do life alone. Do it with others. Right? Do it with others. All right? So action item for the week. What area of the success law that you are struggling with? Right? What are the 5 areas? Is it your obedience to the success? Meaning like when there's work that you got to do that you have to do and you don't want to do it? Like, is that a struggle? Right? Is it not knowing what the end looked like? Your vision? Talk to somebody that can help you out with that. Is it hard for you to accept that life is painful? Maybe that's something you can think about. Like, dude, life doesn't always have to be comfortable, fun, or exciting, or whatever, or joyous, right? But that's the experience of life. Just know that there's going to be joy and there's going to be pain, right? Without pain, you won't know joy. Without joy, you won't have pain. So it's like that yin and yang. You need that. And if you have a problem with effort, you need somebody to push you, get in the community, ask somebody to challenge you, right? Do something challenging. And if you don't have anyone to be a part of your success crew, reach out in the community. That's why we're here. We are here to achieve the same thing, which is financial freedom, financial success, whatever that success may be for you, right? Everybody's success is different, but we're here to reach that goal together. And you don't have to do it alone. All right, guys? That's all I have for you guys this week, man. Just carry this with you throughout the week. Lean into the community and, man, just stay strong and just keep fighting, because that's what it is. That's life. Is a battle, and we just gonna keep fighting through it. All right, guys? I feel blessed to be here, and Christmas time is coming, so I'm excited. So let's just continue to keep fighting. All right, guys? 2024 is coming, so set your goals, set your targets, set your challenge. Pick a challenge and do it. Right? 5 miles, whatever you want to do, lose weight, whatever. Start it now. Set that challenge and do it now. All right? Don't wait. All right, guys. I'll see you.